pull the bolt back. I'm thinking, how fast am I gonna run? I was like,
ah, yeah, he's an actual psycho. Yeah, he's an actual psycho.
That house deserved it. I did. He just dropped.
Yeah, he's an
and
actual
I heard
psycho.
blood just pouring out of his head. He's assaulted me before. He's done so many different things wrong to me. My grandma looks over and she's like, "What's going on?"
Oh, don't. He killed his grandma.
We noticed a window off the side, and
No, it's not the same kid.
Went in and looked and discovered a body.
How is it gonna be the same fucking kid, bro?
Yes, but Janet and Rick Sweet.
On May 13th, 2012, the family of Rick and Janet Sweet made a horrific discovery at the couple's home in Manchester, Iowa. They had no idea the dark secrets that were soon to be uncovered. But in this twisted case, it was the police who were left shocked at the admissions of a too-honest killer. A killer who you will hear from in an exclusive,
oh, it was like the 14-year-old kid?
heard interview.
It was like the 14-year-old kid?
Janet Sweet had planned to celebrate Mother's Day, as was their yearly tradition. But as the family approached...
Dude, that fucking 14-year-old kid, that shit was disturbing. Like, that kid was... He gave all the information up. He didn't even try to protect himself. Like, that kid, that was just... That's the weirdest one we've watched. Everybody else tries to protect themselves. Everybody else lies. Everybody else, like, you know, tries to hide away. But that kid just said, yeah, I stabbed my friend. And who were you talking to? Well, I was talking to the guy that I was gonna kill. You know, like that kid just... And then when they told him, okay, but what about your other friend? He's like, yeah, I was gonna kill him first, actually. I was gonna kill him the day before. A fucking 14-year-old kid saying this. Good night, Mom, I love you, I hope you sleep well. Even though we're watching fucking weird-ass shit. Dude, imagine that, like a 14-year-old kid. Just saying, oh yeah, I was gonna kill my friend the other day, but I couldn't kill him. So I killed my other friend, and I was gonna kill my other friend. And the cop's like, yeah, but I didn't ask you about your other friend last night. And he's like, yeah, no, but I was gonna kill him though. But I was gonna kill him. What? How, dude?
Approached the house that day.
How does that brain work?
They instantaneously felt that something was very wrong.
And they asked him, why did you kill your friend? Oh, because he was close to me, and he would have done anything I asked him. That's why I killed him.
Immediately, they noticed that one of the windows had been shattered, but in no way could they predict the gruesome findings that lay inside.
Much love,
Peering
much love.
through the broken glass, they glimpsed a horrifying sight. Rick and Janet were inside, both in pools of blood on their couch, murdered in their own home. Shocked and in a panic, a call to 911 was quickly made.
Hey.
There is certainly a body inside.
At least they died together.
I noticed a gunshot through the window, and so rather than go in and explore,
you're gonna find
but a
the
burning
silver
question
lining,
lingered
bro.
in the air. Who could have committed such an evil act? The horror of the discovery was made all the worse as the investigation began. Rick and Janet's family members quickly informed the police that there was one person still unaccounted for. The couple's 17-year-old grandson, Isaiah Sweet, who lived in the home with them. Fearing that he may have met a similarly grisly end, authorities began looking for the missing teen. But they never could have imagined what they would uncover when they finally caught up with Isaiah. On May 14th, the day after the bodies were found, Isaiah was finally located in Cedar Rapids after previously driving 75 miles to Iowa City.
Oh, he was running.
Apparently, the teenager was spotted walking towards
he was
a park.
running. Oh, he was running.
Quickly pursued by nearby officers. Isaiah seemingly tried to outrun them, but quickly surrendered once he heard the sound of police dogs on his trail. Now knowing that no harm had come to Isaiah, at least not the kind that his grandparents had suffered, the police were eager to hear if he had any insight into the horrific crime. He was promptly brought in for an interview. You'll notice that Isaiah is in handcuffs.
Yeah, because he tried to run.
Soon understand why.
Because he tried to run.
Put those things off you. Probably feel a little bit better. Oh yeah. You're gonna be good with me, right? Yes, sir. All right.
The detective offers to remove Isaiah's handcuffs as a gesture of goodwill and to try and build positive rapport with him. This also serves the purpose of removing the constant reminder that Isaiah is in
Yeah,
police
that he's in
custody,
police custody.
which may help him feel more comfortable.
Why don't we shut this thing for privacy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Grab some of that food, okay, Isaiah? Isaiah, since we haven't officially met, hey, my
Nice to
name's
meet you.
Scott Rieger.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, I'm a DCI, I'm a police officer.
Yo, the police officer like, what's up, my G? Yo, you looking good with that haircut, buddy. Alright, now, let's talk about this. I know you murdered your grandparents, bro. Huh? I know it was you. That's the other detective strap.
I don't look like it, but...
I gotta use Matt Damon, bro.
So after this, is there any way I can
It's Matt Damon and Matthew McConaughey.
go to the hospital for this? I cut it open on a rusty fence, and
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure
Absolutely.
I'm worried about tetanus.
Yep, nope, absolutely.
Isaiah
Absolutely,
isn't
bro.
being interviewed in a typical interrogation room, but instead is in what appears to be the detective's office. This isn't ideal, as there are numerous distractions that will be a constant reminder of where he is.
I'm going to show you this here. This is called a statement of rights and an acknowledgement of a waiver, okay?
Bro, this guy is pulling up the chair like he's like the fucking like he's your teacher who's giving you private lessons. He's like, no. So what you got wrong here, right? You see this equation? Right? Yeah. So you put a plus and it was supposed to be a minus sign there. So that's where you got the answer wrong. And you're like, oh, I'm a dumbass. And he's like, yeah, no, but it happens. So you know what? Instead of a 0, I'll give you a... Out of 10, I'll give you 8 because you had the right procedure. You just messed up a little thing. But you had the right idea. I'll give you an 8. And you know what? You came over to see me and talk to me. So you know what? I'll give you a 9 because you're a cool guy. And you know what, dude? A 9's close enough to a 10. You know what? You get a 10 because you're a stand-up guy. 10. That's the vibe he's giving me, bro.
Your mates, I'll let anything I
He's
say
one of those
can, will be
teachers.
easy. Get me in a court of law. I'll write to an attorney if I cannot afford one will be appointed.
W.
Got those things down already,
Yes, sir.
don't you? Okay, let me read these to you. Is that all right?
All
right.
Bro,
Isaiah may
he's
be trying
so
to show
happy.
off or appear smart by reciting his Miranda rights.
He's so happy.
However, all he's done is prove that he's quite familiar with the criminal justice process,
I
possibly due to past encounters with police.
mean,
Regardless,
possible, but...
it's the detective who must read Isaiah his Miranda rights, and he agrees to continue talking without a lawyer being present.
Giga Chad. Oh, you motherfuckers. Boom. And then you jump over here, and then you go boom, and then you go boom. Oh, come on, that's too easy.
Go ahead, now down. When was the last time you had
Chomp,
something
chomp,
to eat?
chomp.
4 days ago.
You haven't eaten anything in 4 days?
Yeah, he looks...
And we got more food, so if you wallow that stuff down, you want to keep going, we've got more food.
Oh my
guys
god. Yo, can I be arrested by this guy? Hello? I'd like some fucking free food. Yo, can somebody kill my grandparents so I get arrested, bro? Hello? Jesus Christ. No, please don't kill my grandparents, bro. They're old and I love them, you know. And they're getting older every year. And it's really sad, bro. Because, like, you go back home and you realize, damn, dude. My grandparents, you know, you go back home and you wonder, are they going to make it another year? But you've been wondering this for, like, the past 4 years. And you're like, you know what? I think they got a good 5 years in them. But sometimes they don't have a good 5 years in them, man. My grandpa's getting old, bro. He's getting up there. He was a bodybuilder. Now his body doesn't work as good. My grandma sometimes forgets shit, you know. And my other grandma, she's doing okay, but she's, you know, she was my dad's mom. And she lived next to my dad, right? And so she's all alone over there. It's quite sad, you know. And she looks over at my dad's tree every day, and she's like, you know, she calls me and she calls my brother, and she's like, you know, I miss your dad, I miss you, you know, I miss him, you know, you guys look exactly the same. You know, I don't want my grandparents to die, bro, they're good people. But unfortunately, you know, eventually everybody goes. You know. Eventually everybody goes. So please don't kill my grandparents, bro. It was a joke. It was a joke, you know, because I don't have that much money and I'd like to eat, but it's not worth it, bro. Not over my grandparents. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, time does move fast, bro. I'm 28. I'm getting up there in age now.
I appreciate
What have I
that.
done with my life?
Okay.
Isaiah appears
A
to
lot
be
of
taken
good
off
things,
guard
bro.
by the warm treatment from the detective, especially when it comes to being offered a
If you had to choose one grandparent to go, who would you choose? Oh my god. I actually think it's a pretty clear choice. My granddad, he struggles. He struggles with moving now. My other two grandmas, they can move. They can move and everything. And they're more spry. My granddad, he just gets angry and yeah, he's getting quite old. And like he's got a really bad leg. You know, he used to be a bodybuilder, he used to work out, and now he's really depressed because he can't work out as much. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah. But 3 of mine passed within 2 years when I was younger, so yeah, make the best. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. No, I remember when my first grandparent died, it was my dad's father. I was like 8, dude. We were coming, like, we would go and visit him every Saturday. Every Saturday we were over there. And, like, all of a sudden we get a call, like, my mom is driving us back home. She gets a call, and then we arrive home. She's crying. She turns around and she says, "Your grandpa's dead." And I'm like, "What? We just saw him." And she's like, "Yeah, he had a heart attack. He died." And then I'm crying, my brother's crying, my cousin's crying, you know? That was the first time, dude. I was like 7 or 8. One of those. And then I made a real bad joke at the funeral, bro. Because we grabbed the ashes and we threw them, and this joke I still remember the joke. They grabbed the ashes, dude, and they throw like the ashes over the pier. We were at the beach. And they threw it with the cage, actually. They threw it with the box. They didn't just scatter the ashes. They threw it with the box. And I looked at my cousin and I said, imagine if a shark comes out all of a sudden and eats a grandpa's box. And then takes him on a voyage through the world. And my cousin just looked at me with fucking hatred in his eyes, bro. He looks at me with disgust. And he acts like a fucking little fed. Alright? He acts like a goddamn fed. And he tells my aunt what I said, right? And my aunt looks at me and she says, "Don't worry. People act in ways they can't predict when they're feeling grief." And she told my cousin that I wasn't mocking my grandpa's death, that I just didn't know how to handle it. And bro, I felt so bad. But I think that was a very, very, very important moment in my life, and it could have gone like wrong. Cause to this day, I'm still the same kid as I was back then. You know? I'm still the same kid. I still make jokes in funerals. I still make jokes in weird positions. Like, I'm watching this shit and I'll make a joke which is insensitive or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's who I am and it's who I've always been. You know? And my auntie could have changed that. My auntie could have fucked me off for life if she was like, "Oh my god, you fucking weirdo," or whatever. But she understood, you know? She understood. And so, yeah. And so, you know what, bro? If I say some insensitive shit, it was my auntie's fault. It ain't my fault, bro. It wasn't my fault, bro. It was my auntie's fault. Blame her. Blame her. She validated me. She validated me, bro. Dude, I've always been a guy with a lot of imagination, and people never shot me down for it. Right? Like, people never shot me down, even though it was insensitive, even though saying, what if a shark eats my grandpa's box and takes him all over the fucking world? Alright? You know, like, That was my imagination running, bro. That was me trying to avoid the truth of my grandpa being dead, you know? And my aunt didn't kill my imagination then. She could have, but she didn't. She chose not to, you know? And that was a very, very, very kind thing she did, you know? Very kind thing she did. And now I see my imagination flourishes. And I like who I am. And I understand that moment, bro, that moment, everything could have gone awry. If she would have treated me like some kind of fucking weirdo motherfucker, bro, I might have been able to, I might have turned, I might not be me. We get it, dog, we get it.
Additional food.
I'll keep going.
This puts the detective in
I
a
keep
very
going, bro,
good
my bad,
position,
I'm sorry.
And Isaiah may be more inclined to give him the information he wants to continue to receive this kind of treatment.
And just my point to the story is, if you guys are ever old people or older people and a kid says a weird comment, okay, because he's maybe a little weird, don't shoot him down. Let the kid be the kid. You know? Let the kid be the kid. That's what I'm saying. You gotta let kids be kids, you know? And she let me. And now I am letting the future kids be kids. You understand? That's how it works, bro. That's how humanity works. W wholesome moment, bro. W wholesome moment. No, I'm serious, bro. I'm actually serious. But
They're not
alright.
gonna take this from me, are they?
What is
Let's
it?
go.
This is a real Rolex.
Okay, where'd you get that from?
I found it in a hobo's tent.
Fucking unaccountable,
Down there?
bro.
Yeah, in CR.
Okay, we'll just keep it up there. We'll probably deal with that later.
Cops, there was like 4 or 5 cops and
In Cambridge?
Yep.
Okay.
Looking for me.
Okay.
And one of them came up to me, started talking to me, asked if I knew where I was. And I was like, no.
So he
I
didn't
don't even-
recognize you
Yeah, I
at
was
all?
like, no, I don't even know where he's at. Like, I had my hair back to here,
Now, what would have been one of the reasons you were pulling your hair back?
trying to not be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
At first, he was asking if I saw the other cops, and I was like, no. And then he was like, do you know who Isaiah Sweet is? And I was like, no idea.
Not a clue who that is. What are you thinking the whole time he's asking that?
I'm thinking, how fast am I gonna run? As soon as he
What?
walks away from me.
What I want you to do right now is just kind of relax. Go ahead, eat that food, kind of mound down. Like I said, I want to kind of start and kind of walk back through some things first.
Bro, this motherfucker's like, I'm thinking about how fast I'm gonna run. What the fuck? He's a schizo.
Okay.
More than anything, I want to know what the f brought me to,
Yeah.
what I did, what's wrong with me.
Sure. Then
Like, I'm about to sue. This is my best kind. Yep.
Wait, hold on. I was distracted. My bad. I'm sorry. Did he just admit it? Did he just admit to everything? Hold on. My bad. I was chatting with somebody. Did he just admit to everybody? I didn't even watch, bro. I spaced out. I spaced out, bro. I was thinking of my life. I'm sorry.
Looking for me.
I spaced out.
And one of them came up to me, started talking to me, asked if I knew where I was. And I was like, no.
So he
I
didn't
don't even-
recognize you
Yeah, I
at
was
all?
like, no, I don't even know where he's at. Like, I had my hair back to here,
Now, what would have been one of the reasons you were pulling your hair back?
trying to not be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
At first, he was asking if I saw the other cops, and I was like, no. And then he was like, do you know who Isaiah Sweet is? And I was like, no idea.
Not a clue who that is. What are you thinking the whole time he's asking that?
I'm thinking, how fast am I gonna run? As soon
Oh
as
my
he walks
God.
away from me.
What I want you to do right now is just kind of relax. Go ahead, eat that food, kind of mound down. Like I said, I want to kind of start and kind of walk back through some things first.
Oh my god.
More than anything, I want to know what the f brought me to, what I did, what's wrong with me.
Sure. Then,
Like, I'm about to start bawling.
okay. Hey, Isaiah, if you cry, that's totally fine, man. I respect that, okay?
I want to go back so bad.
How come?
Because I loved them
Oh, come on.
so much. They didn't deserve that.
How come they didn't deserve it?
If anyone in that house deserved it, I did.
Oh,
More than
true.
anyone.
True.
Take your time, brother.
They
True.
raised me since I was 4, and I
I'm sorry, you just called him brother. Huh? Okay.
afraid it was.
You know what?
Janet and Rick had taken
Bro, at that moment, if I'm the cop, I go, are you alright? I go, right? Yo, he died, bro. He suffocated on the food.
Custody of Isaiah when he was
It's
just
what it
4
is.
years old, due to their daughter's inability to care for him. Stacy Sweet, Isaiah's mother,
Bro,
had
come
allegedly
on.
suffered from substance abuse and could no longer support her young son.
No.
But her parents were more than willing to take him into their home. Immediately, Isaiah will answer one of the questions looming over the investigation. But even with this reveal, there are even more disturbing questions left to be
Bro,
uncovered.
they raised you and
When you
threw
say
them?
what happened that night at the house, what happened?
Shot both of them.
Okay. What'd you shoot him with, Isaiah?
An assault rifle.
An assault rifle? You remember what it looks like?
Black.
Okay. What,
Black, bolt action, 10 or more round clip.
Oh, that's an M1
It's,
Grand, right? Oh, Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
AR-15.
Okay. Okay. It takes a lot to admit that, Isaiah. Okay. That's not an easy thing to do.
It's not
Okay,
easy
and
thing
Isaiah,
to kill
this
your
is
laid
full
out,
goddamn
yeah.
family.
Okay, and I appreciate that.
Although
my
Isaiah
God, I
has
have
just
it.
admitted to killing his grandparents, the detective so desperately wants to get to the bottom of how this horrific crime came to be. In doing so, he ensures that there is nothing preventing Isaiah from answering any question that may be thrown his way.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an AR-15.
How you feeling, right? I mean, you're with me right
I
now,
feel like
right?
I don't really
It
know
looked like a Mosin Nagant.
much, but
Okay, let me ask.
Bolt action. It looked like a Mosin Nagant. Let me show you. This is a Mosin Nagant. It's a World War II gun. It's bolt action. Mosin Nagant. This is a Mosin Nagant. It looked like the gun that his grandparents had. It wasn't a Mosin. No, what was it? I don't know. I don't think I
See
matched
this,
some
Isaiah. You
weird
understand
fucking
who I am.
rifle.
You understand I'm a police
But it wasn't an
officer.
AR-15.
You understand
It
that
was
the guys who brought
Czechoslovakian,
you
bro.
up here,
Bolt
why
action.
they,
I don't
they
think
had
that's
to
the same
find you,
thing.
okay, and they brought you up there. There's nothing medically
Right,
right
like-
now that's preventing you to talk to me.
no, sir.
Right? But you understand the questions I'm asking you right now. Okay, there's no question that you're not smart enough to handle these
I'm
questions.
extremely intelligent.
Okay. And
Extremely.
I get that. I think you
I
are.
just make stupid choices.
Yeah. And sometimes we do, Isaiah. Look at me.
I'm never gonna be able to go back on it.
No. And that's, you know what, Isaiah, part of this is that what you're doing today by telling me the whole truth as far as what happened, not only what's leading up to it, but what happened during it. I know it's going to be tough to walk through, but we need to do that.
I'm
Okay,
alive.
then we need to talk about what happened afterwards, okay?
Yeah, I
All
don't
the
know. I don't-
details we need with this is your chance to start healing
I don't even know
yourself
if he
on
knows
the
what an
inside.
assault rifle is.
Walk me through
I
Friday.
think most people
What's going
get
on
it wrong.
Friday? Walk me through the time you wake up on Friday morning. We'll kind of walk through
Friday.
that.
Well, before
When
I killed
someone's
him or
gaze
after.
drifts to the left after they're asked a
That
question,
is- this is fake
this
news.
generally
Fake
indicates
news.
that there is some inner dialogue going on in their head. This doesn't necessarily mean they're being deceptive. However,
You know
detectives
what? I feel more comfortable looking up at the left than at the right. How do I even look up into the right, bro? I can't even do it properly. So there's a, you go, it feels, okay, you know what? I was gonna say this is bullshit, but if I do this, it feels weird. It feels
will take
weird,
note
bro.
of this behavior.
Try it out, trust me.
Just having home on house arrest
Nah,
all day.
I feel fake.
Take Grandpa and Grandma home.
Now here I can convince
then
anybody.
I went down to the basement. Up there's a door that goes into the garage from the basement. I went up to the garage and then in their room, took the assault rifle out of their room, and then I loaded it with 10 bullets. Walked up the stairs. Took like a point like this. Had earmuffs on and everything. I took a point like this. Stepped up one stair so I could see my grandpa's head. Boom! Pulled the trigger back. Pulled the bolt back. Shot my grandpa twice in the head.
Where was your grandpa sitting?
They were both sitting on the couch.
Okay. And where were you at?
I was on the stairs coming up
Like coming up from that landing? Okay, because I've heard, I haven't been inside your house, but you know, some of the guys were up there the other day and they're kind of going through it.
hollow point assault rifle rounds. And then
Okay.
I went up to
Yo, chocolate biscuit, do not say boom, headshot. Don't say it, bro.
him and I just broke down, started crying.
I'll ban
told
you.
him how much I loved him.
Apparently, the teenager was heading down a tumultuous path filled with partying,
Why am I
substance
like
abuse,
this,
and
bro? My
rebellious
aunt
behavior.
made the wrong choice when I
During
was
his
a
high
kid.
school years, Isaiah had supposedly begun to
My
fraternize
aunt
with a
made the
crowd
wrong
of
choice.
older kids, where he used substances such as marijuana and methamphetamine. Along with this, he allegedly possessed
She
severe
made
learning
the
disabilities,
wrong choice.
making his education all the tougher to accomplish.
God damn it,
Unfortunately,
Auntie,
this
you could
only
have
led to
fixed me when I was
further
a
issues,
kid.
as Isaiah dropped out of high school at the age of 16. It seemed that after this, the unruly teen's dangerous actions were beginning to manifest at home. During the course of the last year leading up to the horrendous crime, Janet and Rick had called the police 18 separate times on account of Isaiah's unpredictable nature.
No, it's
On one
funny as
occasion,
fuck.
that, in hindsight, would foreshadow the events that followed. Isaiah threatened to kill his grandfather and hurt his grandmother.
Okay, that isn't
along
funny.
with burning the house down.
That ain't
On
funny.
September 8th, 2011, police once again made their way to the infamous house to try and stop the emerging incident. They instructed Isaiah to calm down, but instead of obeying the command, the angry teenager retaliated by going at his grandparents once more before being handcuffed and placed on a couch. It's reported
he's always
that
had
once
issues.
calm, Isaiah was informed that he would be charged if the officers had to return to the house. Numerous other encounters consisted of the same nature: violence, substance use, and threats. At one point, Isaiah was supposedly threatening Rick and Janet so much that
He was
they
a meth
wanted
head,
him to
bro.
be placed in foster care. But they were promptly notified that this wasn't an option, as
What?
Isaiah's mother would have to be the one to take him in,
Oh my
which the
God.
grandparents did not want. On April 11th, 2012,
Bro, are
the
you
most recent
kidding
call
me?
to the police was made due to the fact that the teenager was using a lighter and aerosol to make a blowtorch inside the house.
Hey, who didn't
When
do
police
that though?
arrived, Janet insisted that rather than arresting Isaiah, she simply wanted him under control.
Who hasn't
The
done that
officers hoped to
though?
calm the situation before they
Bro,
left without
bro,
incident.
hold on. Who hasn't done that? Okay. I am not a troublemaker. I don't do anything illegal. And even I grabbed a bit of a thing, and my brother went with the fucking axe and went. Shit, bro! Oh my God, we're gonna burn each other. Don't do it anymore. One more. You know, everybody,
Another
bro.
call to law enforcement
Everybody
occurred
did
when the
that, dude.
grandparents
Everybody did that.
suspected Isaiah
That
had
couldn't
been
just be
using
me.
illegal substances, which was
That could
confirmed
just be me
once
and my
a
brother,
search
bro.
discovered a marijuana pipe within the residence.
He was a
Despite the
druggie.
history of police calls, Isaiah tells a very different story of this turbulent period in his life, and you'll hear it all for yourself.
I've tried to kill myself every single night since it happened.
Take your time.
Well, you failed.
It's possible that Isaiah is seeking attention or sympathy from the detective.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I just want to know what's wrong with me.
WD
Well,
fucking
would you
life.
agree? There's nothing wrong with you, Isaiah. Would you agree with me on that?
No.
From this standpoint, Isaiah, look at me, okay? Okay? I don't think that there's anything wrong with you.
I'm just going to prison for the rest of my life.
Well, Isaiah, let's not focus on that right now. Let's focus on one getting past this thing right now as far as what happened, okay?
Isaiah,
If you can focus on those details with...
Isaiah, you're a good-looking white boy. Nothing wrong with you. All right. We all make mistakes, bro. It's okay. You know, I understand. I was a fellow young buck like you. I get it. You know, I get it. I understand. You did nothing wrong. Now, did you come up and kill your granddad and then headshot your grandma twice? Yeah, you did, but nothing wrong with you, man. Like, look. This is just a really big accident. But accidents happen. We understand.
with me. Okay, we'll worry about all that other stuff later. Okay? You're
Yeah.
a smart kid, right?
You're a normal
Okay, you're nodding
kid.
your head at me, yes. All right. And I've spent the last 2 days with a bunch of our other agents. We've been talking to people that know you. I haven't heard one
Yeah.
person that said, you know what, that guy's a moron. You're a smart guy.
Smart guy.
Would you agree with me?
Don't mind me asking.
Oh, we've talked to all your friends, okay? People that used to know you from school, okay? And Isaiah, the story that they're telling us is that you're a pretty smart kid. Would you agree?
And you're a stand-up guy.
Okay, so I don't think that there's anything
I took an
wrong.
ACT pre-test stick got a 32.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But you agree with me, there's nothing wrong with you, right?
Nothing wrong with you.
Whatever came over me, other
Sure.
than that,
Nothing, bro.
Okay.
The detective may be trying to confirm that there is nothing wrong with Isaiah that could potentially
Yeah,
indicate that he was not in his...
So it looks like I'm pressing the officer, but I'm not. He's playing it correct. He's trying to get the kid to say, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with me. Like, in fact, I'll prove to you that there's nothing wrong with me. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you why I killed him, you know? Let me show you, like, I'm an intelligent guy, you know? And he wants the full story. He wants to know what exactly happened so that he can burn him at the stake for later, you see. He's trying to roast him. You know that chicken that you see, that rotisserie chicken? He's rotisserieing him right now. But first, the first technique is you gotta glaze them. You gotta glaze them. You gotta rizz them up. You gotta rizz them up, you know? Man, you're a great kid. You're intelligent. You know multiple languages. You know, they were pieces of shit, weren't they? They were pieces of shit, bro. It is what it is, man.
right mind when he committed the murders. At the same time,
I
it's
get
possible that
it.
he's flattering Isaiah
I
about
get
his
it.
intelligence as a way to build rapport.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about this. I think you mentioned that you went downstairs.
Get him, officer. Get him.
Which did you
Pedo.
go for first? Did you go for the rifle or did you go for the ammunition? Walk me
Wait,
through.
who's a
When
pedo,
I
bro?
went downstairs, first, I was just gonna hit them both in the head with a bat.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be so messy, you know. Wouldn't be gunshot from an extremely loud assault rifle.
Sure. What's going through your mind
And
when you're making that choice?
When I came up right behind my grandpa when he was washing dishes with a bat in my hand. I put it right behind his head. Came back like this, and I couldn't do it.
That night?
Yeah.
Okay, did he notice you were back
Nope.
there?
And I came up behind him about 15 different times, and he didn't notice me once.
What about you?
What?
Emotionally, it would be much more difficult to kill someone with an object like a bat or knife. It would most likely take numerous strikes to actually kill the victim, so the perpetrator would see their facial expressions and reactions as they were attacked. This may have been part of the reason why Isaiah chose a murder weapon.
Bro, this kid is pretty crazy, and even he couldn't hit him with a bat. Remember the story of the 14-year-old kid who killed one of his best friends just to see? Bro, he stabbed him. The kid stabbed him. And this motherfucker is insane, and he couldn't do it with a bat. And the 14-year-old kid said, yeah, just, you know, I went around his whole neck. Bro, there's levels to this shit. And that kid was a higher level of Satanism than this guy. This guy's pretty high up there, but that kid was something else, dude. That kid was legitimately something else. Remember that shit?
That would almost guarantee a quick finish. It also creates physical distance between the perpetrator and the victim, making it easier to carry out the act.
Bro,
Okay,
the kid acted it out like it was nothing, bro.
What was she doing? She was sleeping.
The kid killed one of his best friends like it was nothing.
Okay, the gunshot when you shot your
She
grandpa.
didn't know what to do. She looked over at her husband. His brain was hanging out of his head.
Oh
I'm
my
not even
God.
being exaggerative at all.
Oh my
Shit, I wasn't
god.
up there.
Like, this whole part of his head right here was gone. And then my grandma's right here, all that was gone.
Okay. Did when you and we're kind of getting away from that. I know we're gonna do that. Okay. Go ahead and take a bite of your sandwich. It'll kind of help calm you down a little bit too.
How is he not
When you went down to
puking?
go get, you went and got the ammo first, right? Or you went and got.
I went, got the gun. Okay, this was after I had it out with the bat.
Okay.
Went, got the assault rifle, brought it down in the basement, got in the ammo box, it's in the basement. There's over 30,000 rounds for that assault rifle in there.
Does he keep his ammo down there? So you knew his ammunition was downstairs. Yep. Okay. Does he keep it under lock and key or?
Nope.
Okay. So you knew that you have free access to it. Okay. And so did you? What did you do next?
Got the hollow point rounds because I knew them too.
Listen, bro. I know how it looks, bro, from the officer, right? when he's eating the fucking thing and he says, yeah, take a good bite out of it. I know what it looks like, okay? But the officer, like, it's a good strat from the officer. The officer's trying to be friendly. He's trying to get the kid talking. He's trying to amass as many charges as he can on the kid, right? He's trying to get the full story. So he's being nice to the kid. Like, you know, it's not because he's like, oh my God, and what did you do next? Oh my God, and you shot him? How much brain was hanging out? You know what I mean? No, he couldn't eat anything though, Jung. Bro, he couldn't eat anything, bro. This is in his office. The officer just took him in and he's like, yo, eat my sandwich, bro. It's fine.
Do the most damage.
My wife did
When
that.
asked by the detective why he chose the hollow points, Isaiah states that he didn't want his grandparents to go through any pain, indicating that he didn't intend to injure or maim them, but in fact,
Yeah, he just
clearly
wanted them to die.
die.
So you knew that the solid ones, they might have lived through those.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't want that.
Yeah.
Aren't hollow points
Shot
illegal
my
though?
grandpa. He just dropped, and I heard blood just pouring out of his head. My grandma looks over and she's like, "What's going on?" Boom. Shot
Boom.
right there, grazed her head, and she was still moving. So I shot her right here through her
Okay.
head.
How close were you, Isaiah?
I could have made the shot from 300 yards. I'm an amazing shot, but I was probably only 10, 15 feet away, if that.
Okay.
No, honestly, from the barrel of the gun to my grandpa's head, 6, 8 feet.
Next, the detective
Wait, hold on. Nah, hold on. They are illegal. As far as I know. Yeah, he's bragging. Yeah. No, look, they are illegal as far as I know, right? Because they are terribly effective. And that's the reason why cops use them. Right? Hollow point shells are illegal for the public, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're illegal to the public. Because they do so much fucking damage. Right? Because, yeah, they mushroom in a person's body. And that's why police officers use it. And also so that it doesn't come out the back. So when police officers shoot somebody, it only damages that person. And it doesn't go through anybody. But I'm pretty sure they're illegal for everybody else. Like,
asks Isaiah
can't
why
just
he
buy
wasn't
them.
able to go through with using the bat as the murder
Rebel,
weapon.
thank you, buddy.
What'd you
Do
stop?
I
Why
still
didn't you?
spot?
Why
No,
couldn't you?
unfortunately
Bring
not,
myself
Slomio.
to put them through any sort of pain.
I gotta find a
Okay.
boxing
And I think you
gym.
mentioned it would have been
I'll
too
go.
messy too, right?
No, I didn't want it to be messy.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to
I
deal with
did
that.
Okay.
want it to be
Okay.
messy.
Did you think the bat would be a cleaner way?
Oh, yeah.
Hollow
Because-
points are legal.
Okay.
Yellow
Did you
jackets are
fi- I mean,
police.
had you
Oh,
done
okay.
any research on the
Thank you,
internet
Rebel.
about this, or
Yes, sir.
What's the difference?
Okay.
Do you know?
Like, what kind of websites did you go to?
Let's put it like this. I was typing in best ways to kill
Thank
somebody
you, baby.
and all this And if I would have waited one more day, I would have killed them the cleanest way possible.
Which is what?
Nicotine poisoning.
Nicotine
And Isaiah, you
poisoning.
understand that these are your grandparents. You know that they're human beings, they're people, right?
Nicotine
Nod
poisoning?
your head at me, yeah.
Yellow jackets, armor piercing. Okay.
Is
Yeah,
there
that gets
any particular
14,
time
shit
when
like
you
that.
only shot Grandpa once?
Because I heard blood.
'Cause he was dead,
pouring
'cause he
out
was
of
dead,
his head
'cause he was dead.
like
So you
a
knew-
fire hydrant.
You knew
He was dead. Yeah, he was dead.
Okay. And why the two shots with Grandpa?
Yeah, he was dead.
She moved right after I shot her.
Okay. Did she look at you? Or did she say anything after you
She
shot
like
her?
twitched, and I thought maybe it's probably just the twitch they get after they die, where they just like excreate on themselves. Or whatever,
Sure.
but
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to make sure because she was the only one that I actually cared about.
Okay. You think you were closer to your grandma than your grandpa? How long you been living with them?
Since I was 4.
Okay.
And honestly, I wish I would have myself that night
How come?
because they didn't deserve it, and I did.
When it's over, okay, and you know that did you check to see if they had a pulse?
Huh?
Did you check them at all?
My grandma's whole side of her face was blown off, and so it's
Okay.
his. So like his brain was like on the.
Bro, this kid's life was ruined. His mom was a drug addict. His grandparents took him in and he killed them. Like, my man, you're getting a second chance at life, and you threw that away. Yeah, sociopath, bro. Like, these people are not normal, man. These people are not normal people. They're just not normal people. These people we're watching, most of them seem to be extremely sociopathic. Yeah. Yeah. But, dude, even though we've seen all of these, dude, that 14-year-old kid, that was the most shocking one. The one who just ratted on himself, not this one, the other one. The one who ratted on himself, that was the most shocking one.
The coffee.
The high school one.
But you didn't go over and, you know, just to double
I
check.
kissed both of them and then packed my left.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because I love them.
Kissing his grandparents after killing them could be an indication that Isaiah may have had some sort of emotional response after all. But at the same time, he may be lying, as he would have likely gotten blood on his face or clothes, and he made no
Bro,
mention
like
of
this fucker
changing
reminds
before
me.
packing his bag and leaving. If he is
Yeah,
lying, he may
that
be
guy
trying
who
to
killed
present
his two
himself to the
brothers
detective
also.
as remorseful or caring. Furthering this, Isaiah then states that after he had committed the unthinkable acts, he prayed for forgiveness.
Did you pray for
Dude, the
forgiveness?
killing the
Because you knew what you did was
friend
wrong?
and the killing the two brothers, that shit was like...
Right away, I wanted to take it back. I don't know why I did it.
After that, you know, you said you packed up some stuff and then you left. How much time did you spend in the house after they were shot?
This kid might be
hour.
extremely
Go
impulsive.
straight to Cedar Rapids. Met up with my ex-girlfriend. There, threw the assault rifle out on 13.
Okay. On Highway 13 or?
Didn't see it on the way back, so.
Okay.
I figure if someone sees a really nice gun laying on the side,
They'll probably pick it up. Okay.
I'm surprised the police didn't find him for me.
Okay. Well, and we'll talk about that too. Okay.
This signals that the detective may already have
yeah.
knowledge regarding the murder weapon,
Yeah.
and the police might even have it in their
So
possession.
these might have it.
As you're getting stuff ready in the house, did you pick up any stuff?
Police
Take
might have
anything out?
Bro, what is this fucking noise? Yo, what is this fucking noise, bro?
This is the first time that there is a long pause prior to Isaiah responding. Long pauses are often associated with deception, especially if it's
I
not
know you're a
typical
man
of
of
the
God,
person's
John,
speech
but
patterns.
like these
When he
guys, some
finally
of them.
gathers his thoughts, Isaiah states that he took his TV, knives, hydrocodone pills, and $9 from his grandparents after killing them. He goes on to describe what he did following the crime, which shockingly consisted of going to numerous parties with friends.
Are you wearing the same clothes that you were wearing Friday night?
Yes, sir.
So these are the same clothes
What
that
Yes,
the
sir.
you
I
shot
have
your
all my
grandma?
clothes. That's in the impound.
Okay. Well, are these the clothes that you were wearing when you shot your grandpa and grandma?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any blood on them?
From my finger.
Okay. What happened to your finger? Oh, from
Got
that.
it.
But I mean from your.
Oh, actually, I was wearing sweatpants and no shirt when I shot him.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to get blood on these jeans or the shirt.
Because they're nice jeans.
There's no blood on anything. I made sure I didn't get any sort of DNA from either of them.
Then why did he just rat on
This
himself
is
like
a
that?
direct contradiction to his previous confession
Yeah, because he said he kissed his grandparents. But then why do you confess immediately?
of kissing his grandparents after having shot them. If his claim of not wanting to get any blood or DNA on him is true,
No, but also
then he probably wouldn't have physically touched the victims.
No,
Where did
but
the blood
also
go when
he
you shot
probably wouldn't have just said, "Hey,
Like blood
Hey,
everywhere, chunks.
I killed
of-
him."
Like the house is massive, and there was like points where it's like, here's the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's
Oh,
go
bro,
to
it
the
does-
kitchen 15 feet away, and there's a chunk of this big laying in there.
Can you go look at it?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I picked it up and I looked at it, and I could see it was from my grandma.
Didn't that freak you out a little bit?
Kinda.
Kinda.
I was like, oh, well, I'm psychotic murder.
Wait. Ah. Then he just didn't want to get any DNA. All of a sudden, he's just picking up pieces
Anyway,
of
so it doesn't
grandma.
really matter.
But
He's
you're
like-
not psychotic.
Rip
you're
grandma.
not psychotic.
Come on, dog.
People often think that
What are
any
you
murderer is
talking about?
psychotic, when in actuality, psychotic refers to a specific set of symptoms which may or may not be present in a killer. Psychotic
What are you
generally
talking
refers to
about?
psychosis, which involves someone losing touch with reality. A person with psychosis may have hallucinations or delusions and is unable to distinguish between real life and the world inside their head. Isaiah hasn't reported any symptoms of psychosis, and he appears to be well aware of what he did, both at the time of the murders and now. The
No,
detective
obviously,
likely wants to
obviously.
put on record that Isaiah understands he was not
Yeah,
psychotic
you're
when
not
he killed his
psychotic.
grandparents, so that it can be presented as evidence when the case goes to court.
I feel really good about myself being so compliant, though.
You should. I mean, and here's one of the things too, Isaiah. I want to make sure that this is abundantly clear. Is that I know that.
Look,
as
I
we
know you're
talk
not a
through these
psycho
things,
kid, you know what I
Don't
mean?
embellish anything with me. Okay, you got to shoot me straight. Okay, I need to know. Okay, who was over at the house, who you talked to, and it's not you snitching. You know what that is? It's you telling me the
Are
truth.
they gonna get arrested? And
I have no control over whether or not they're going to
All
be
right,
arrested.
here, let's put it like this. There was one more gun, and I took
What?
that, but I didn't use it.
What gun was that?
Sawn off 12 gauge.
Okay, what'd you do with that?
Sold it.
Okay.
And then I gave the assault rifle to Brandon Allers, gave the TV to Brandon Allers.
So you didn't throw it. You didn't throw away
Nope.
the
Nope.
gun. Okay.
And they transported it out of town right away.
Okay. How come they transported it out of town?
Okay, they didn't want hot guns.
Did you tell them it was hot?
They knew I'd killed my grandparents. They came in the
What?
house right after it happened.
What?
And why would Brandon be going over to your house on
He
Sunday?
wanted to steal the truck. The white truck.
Okay.
He wanted that white truck.
Did he talk to you about that?
Yep.
How did he talk to you about it?
He wanted to know where the title was.
Oh my
He wanted to know
god.
where everything was. Or it was my ass.
Okay. And did he tell you that? I mean, had you told him that you'd killed your grandparents?
Bro.
Okay. And what did he say?
He was the one who gave me the nicotine poisoning suggestion.
I thought you said you got that over the internet.
Nope. That was him.
It's possible that
Bro. Huh? So that's just premeditated, right? That's
rather than
premeditated
protecting
murder.
other people as he claimed, he left this part out of the story for self-serving reasons. He may have known that there was no explanation for people being in the house after the murders that would fit with his narrative to the detective about how
I don't
he
know if
was
it's shotgun.
immediately remorseful.
If somebody told you what to do, I need to know that. If you found on the internet, I need to know that. But don't mix
See-
those two.
See, but that's good. That's good though, cause like, look, the officer literally got another guy, right? Cause look, a lot of people will say, look, he already gave you your confession. Don't be nice to him. Just put him away. But he's looking for every piece of information, and it's important, cause like, bro, that other guy, his friend, got caught because of that confession. If he never said I gave it to another guy, that guy would be out there, you know? That guy would be out there with a
Well,
truck,
okay,
stolen
you gotta
truck.
shoot straight with me.
He told me about all this.
No, shut it, got
and
only
I
18 years.
looked
No,
up
no,
on
no.
Okay, when did he tell you about that?
Same day,
No.
Friday.
On Friday?
Yep.
What did you tell him?
I told him I just planned on like killing
Yeah,
him,
these stories
taking
are,
some-
bro, these stories are
He's like,
freaky.
you're gonna give me that assault rifle
'Cause-
and that sawn off.
Like, look, these stories are super freaky, dude, because I always think that I'm a pretty good communicator and I can get myself out of any situation. But watching these things, there's situations where you just can't get yourself out of. It's bad time. There's nothing you can do. Like the fucking 14-year-old kid telling his friend to come over and to go into the, like he wants to show him something. Bro, if you have a really good friend and he wants to show you something, you're like, all right, let's see what. And then he murders you. There's nothing you could have done, dude. There's nothing you could have done. You know what I mean?
Isaiah tells the detective that immediately after shooting his grandparents, he went to pick
you're
up
the-
Damien,
like-
a friend of his, before supposedly bringing him to the crime scene.
If you're the other
fact
kid's
that Isaiah
parents
brought
or
his
the
friend over to
mother,
the house after
or-
committing the brutal act is
or
disturbing
the
to
two
say the
kids,
least.
nothing you could have done.
Isaiah now tells the detective that he took a sawed-off shotgun, a knife, the rifle, the truck, all of his toiletries, the TV, and some clothes from the house. Afterward, he drove Damien back to the house of their
No,
friend,
you say I want a
and
lawyer.
his girlfriends.
Wait, Jukes. Oh, yeah, no. I'm talking about, no, I'm not saying what I would talk to the cops, bro. I wouldn't talk to the cops. I need my lawyer, bro. In fact, I represent myself. What's up, bitch? What are you gonna say? No. What I'm talking about is if you're facing a fucking, like, psychopathic murderer or somebody like these kids, there's nothing you can say to them. There's nothing you can do. You know, and I always pride myself as being a guy who can, like, convince people of things. There's some people, like, watching this is making me realize that there's some people that you're just never going to convince. There's some people that are just actually psychopathic murderers. Some people are psychopaths. Some people are just insane and they will not listen to reason or anything. It's just, bro, I killed you because it was time. It was time for you to die. And that is what it is. Like that other guy, dude, he said, they asked him, why did you kill him? Because he was my friend. You killed him because he was nice to you? Yeah, because he was easy. He was an easy kill. Is what the fucking 14-year-old kid said. Another one we watched. And I'm like, what? What?
Then another detective enters the room with food for Isaiah before the two make small talk.
Because they always tell you.
I broke my phone in half a couple
They
nights
always
ago.
tell you, you can always talk yourself out of any situation. Nope.
And I was like,
Don't believe that, bro. Some situations you
nope,
cannot talk
never
yourself
happened,
out of.
you know,
You're
just
gonna
denied
fight.
it all because one of my friends called.
Yeah.
I thought he was just
Yeah, you can't assume everyone is going to
This
be
girl sent
reasonable.
me a picture of News Squad and a bunch of cops. in front of
These
the
videos
house,
are
so I
important to
snapped
watch
my
for that.
phone off.
As they talk,
Oh yeah,
Isaiah
in Mexico
mentions
you are
something
you are
particularly
guilty of the
tragic.
proven innocent. It's insane.
My
It's
mom doesn't
insane.
even know what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
worried about that, but sure. Oh well.
That's understandable. It's your mom.
Yeah.
When was
She
the last
doesn't even
time
know
you
her
talked to
parents
her?
are dead.
Oh, she doesn't know at all?
No, she doesn't know her parents are dead.
When was the last time you talked to her?
Probably 2-3 hours before I snapped my phone, I called her.
Okay.
She was pretty much the only person I didn't tell the real story to.
Okay.
I told her I was on the run. And a few of my friends, I was like, oh, I sold the truck and just left.
Sure.
A couple of them, oh, I killed my grandparents. Oh, well, let me come over to the house and loot.
Isaiah's stories seem to be rather
Ah?
jumbled, but this could be out of anxiety from the interrogation, or the fact that he knows he is caught and there's no way out at this point. When the first detective enters the room again, he begins to question Isaiah's tale regarding his apprehension.
Why you run from the cops? What were you afraid of?
This. Getting caught.
One of my friends in Sierra told me that they were going to handle me extremely roughly because I did what I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get tased or...
Sure.
I just wanted to get shot.
Why'd you want to get shot?
Oh,
So
I want
then
to
went after
die.
it.
Okay. Why didn't you want to kill yourself?
Because I
It was too
did.
damn hard. It just didn't work, ever.
Just didn't work.
Never works.
Okay.
I just think God wants me here for some damn reason.
Okay. Why do you think then it was okay to shoot your grandparents but not yourself?
No, Juxman, I agree with you. I agree with you. You should never talk to the cops. I agree with you. There's, like, we've watched a couple of videos where some of these kids could have gotten out if they just didn't say anything or if they had lawyers. Because they had circumstantial evidence and they ended up cracking, right? They didn't have anything else. Like, for the kid that we watched right before, the cops were pressing him saying, we know you killed your parents. We know you killed your parents. We know you killed it for about 3 hours. But they didn't have, like, they had circumstantial evidence. They didn't have DNA. They didn't have anything. Like, possibly he would have gone off. But what I am saying is, sometimes you have a serial killer in front of you. Sometimes you have a psychopath in front of you. And you think you're going to be able to reason with them. And you're not. You're not going to be able to reason with them. Like, some situations you can't. So some situations, the only thing you can do is either not be in that spot, but sometimes you are in that spot, so fight like hell. And another situation is that sometimes there's nothing you could do. His grandparents got shot from a distance. What could they have done? Nothing you can do. He shot his grandpa, his grandma looks over, she gets shot. Nothing, absolutely nothing, bro. Completely powerless, you know?
I mean, that's a tough question to ask, right?
And it's
I know
just,
it sounds-
It
it's
wasn't
freaky, bro, it's freaky.
It wasn't okay, was it?
It's freaky because you always
However,
like to
his
think
claim
that you can
about wanting
always
to get shot is
control things.
incongruent with his
Some
behavior
things
of
you
coming
can't.
forward with his hands up when he was surrounded by police. Isaiah may be once again looking for sympathy from the detective by saying that he wanted them to kill him. Despite Isaiah's confession of
No,
his
I believe
actions
he wants
before,
to be dead.
during,
I believe
and
he wants to
after
be
the
dead.
shootings, he still has yet to state exactly
I believe he
why
wants to be
he
dead.
killed his grandparents.
Did you look outside to see if any of the neighbors
Oh,
lights?
yeah.
Okay, how come? Well, I mean, why'd you look outside?
Because I wanted... Well, I took a shower and packed everything up. I wanted to make sure no neighbors would like call the cops. Holy shit.
Did you watch? I mean, did you check yourself for? Did you see if you got any blood on you or anything?
I had nothing on me.
Nothing. I mean, did you look
I was
yourself
far.
in the mirror?
I was far enough away to a point where nothing. Like all the stuff went. They all went that way, and I was this way.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably some traces of guts and brains on my feet because I kept stepping on people, and it was really gross.
What were you? I mean, were you barefoot when you shot him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you haven't washed your feet or anything since then? Okay.
Well, no, I did take a shower at my therapist. Scratch that.
This negates Isaiah's previous statement that he took a shower at his house immediately after the shooting, and is yet another hiccup in his story. He goes on to explain how his therapist, Candace, is his aggression replacement therapy teacher, and is one of the few responsible adults in his life, if not the only one. Later, however, exactly how Isaiah arrived...
How the fuck are you gonna take a shower at your therapist, bro?
at her home following the crime will be uncovered, and it
Is she
only
a
goes to show
pedophile?
that wherever Isaiah was, trouble wasn't too far behind.
What's aggression replacement treatment?
How not to do stupid shit that gets people besides me hurt.
Okay.
Like how not to hurt people around you.
Okay.
I'd passed the class the week this happened.
You've been doing pretty good in the class? Good.
Like,
okay.
bro,
Isaiah
how?
states that he took the rifle, 12-gauge shotgun, and TV to Brandon's apartment in
Or did he kill
Cambridge,
her?
where the friend was allegedly going to buy the guns. Supposedly, Isaiah was never compensated. As a result of Brandon's involvement, Isaiah has some concerns.
I know they're probably going to be in jail for a while for this. Are they going to go to the same building as me?
I have no idea.
Because that's what I'm really, really worried about.
I have no idea. I saw Brandon earlier.
Really?
Yeah, I told you we were talking to your friends.
What'd you ask? What'd you talk to them about?
We were trying to find you.
Where
Trying
did
to
they
find
say I
out where
was?
you were at. They didn't know where you were at. So,
Oh, he's
we didn't know where
smiling.
you were at
Oh, yeah.
the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I was in contact with them every single day.
Okay, with
Bro, he's smiling because they didn't rat him out. He was smiling because they didn't rat him out, bro.
what?
It's my phone.
The detective informs Isaiah that he is well aware that the teenager's cell phone had abruptly been shut off during the course of events on Sunday, May 13th. But
Bro,
he
he's
wants to
like,
hear
yeah,
from
my
Isaiah
G, he didn't
just
rat me
how
out.
that came to
But
happen.
he ratted his friend
My
out.
friend sent me a picture of the crime scene and told me I killed my grandparents, so I snapped my phone in half so they couldn't trace it.
Okay.
I'm
So
not
how
a
did
stupid
you-
person.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I'm a
stupid.
very smart criminal.
Oh,
Oh, very smart.
I've got a
You
criminal
got
mind.
caught.
okay.
I do.
Bro, you got caught. You a dumb fuck. you got caught and you immediately blabbered. You are not smart. You're a fucking imbecile who thinks he's smart. That's what you are. Because the smart motherfuckers, they don't get caught. The smart motherfuckers, anything bad happens, they say, yo, you know what? I need an attorney. And then they get out on a technicality, on some circumstantial shit. Or not reasonable,
This is likely
you know,
a sign
reasonable
of
doubt.
narcissism, as Isaiah may see
But
himself
this guy's
as
like, no, I'm
superior
very
and
smart.
more
Well,
clever than other
You're
people.
going to jail because you're
And
very
once
smart,
again,
buddy.
the
Well done.
detective portrays a sense of admiration,
Well done, dumb fuck.
which is likely to play into Isaiah's narcissism and keep him talking.
Yeah.
Built that way.
I've got everything. Man.
So when you say you're talking to these guys, when you're kind of on the run before you broke your phone, are you texting them? Are you communicating with them on Facebook? What are you doing?
Texting, calling.
Texting.
Okay. You got any access to the internet on your
Nope.
phone?
It was a flip phone. I was tweeting a storm up though, and I think I updated my Facebook status a couple times through like you can text it to Facebook.
Oh, okay. What were you updating on your Facebook?
I don't know what it was on Facebook, but I know I was tweeting a bunch of random. This old black dude said that was really high, and I thought it was hilarious.
Isaiah did, in fact, contact his friends following the murders, even confessing to one of them his additional crime of theft, texting a stolen Chevy Avalanche. Cham.
Bro.
His friend's response, a simple LOL, followed by Isaiah's chilling return, I'm nuts. Along with this, Isaiah began to post alarming statements on Twitter, starting on May 11th, the same day of the murders. Isaiah stated, no excuses, no apologies, followed by, I'm dying. But his next
What?
quote was even more horrifying, as
Time
it was
to live
posted
my
around
life.
the same time as the violent shooting was committed.
What?
At 12:10 a.m. on Saturday, May
He is a cringe lord, bro. Whenever you see a goddamn schizo like this posting on Twitter, you know he killed his grandparents. You know? Like,
12th, he wrote, "Time to live
what
my
the
life."
fuck?
The detective switches gears by inquiring about Isaiah's run-in with law enforcement on the early morning of Sunday, May 13th.
He's an actual
You'll recall that this was the day Rick and Janet's bodies were found, 2 days after they were shot. Apparently, Isaiah had been driving 2 girls around Iowa City in the previous hours, making several appearances at nearby
Hey,
parties.
W player,
As
W
the night
player.
was coming to a close,
W
they
player.
stopped at the Fast Break convenience store located on Naples Avenue, and someone in the group allegedly tried to open the locked doors of the business, thereby issuing
Let me put up a. Hold on. Let me pull down all the. Oh, shit, I can't do it. I'm trying to leave this finger up. Yeah, his friends are retards too. I'm trying to leave this finger up, bro. I'm using my feet to point at shit, right? Because I'm lazy. Instead of saying, "Oh, look at this," I'm like, "Look at that one, bro. He did this, that, and the other." I'm not an
alarm
eagle,
trigger.
bro.
When police arrived, Isaiah and his passenger supposedly denied any involvement, but police would later claim they were indeed lying. Not only that, but Isaiah failed to provide a valid license, as his was previously suspended for an unknown reason. In an attempt to cooperate, the passengers allegedly notified the officers that Isaiah was hiding drugs in a duffel bag within the vehicle, along with a hunting knife. But Isaiah denied permission for law enforcement to search his truck, and instead told them that he had various drugs stashed away. Isaiah was quickly taken into police custody, where it was discovered that he launched another string of abnormal tweets.
Ooh, look at
At
him, look
6
at him
a.m.
go.
on Sunday, May 13th, he posted,
Look at him go, look at him go.
"Damn, can't wait to get out of the cop shop. Hashtag 6 unnecessary hours." Numerous others are too explicit to read, but nonetheless, Isaiah was not
do they
afraid to
say?
say what was on his
What
mind.
did they say? Hold on.
As he tweeted away,
expensive to
November was
read.
quickly taken into police custody,
Alright, let's
where
see.
it was
Let's read them.
discovered that he launched
Let's read them,
another
bro. We're
string.
reading them. All you've done in the past is sit in the corner and text retard cop. You drunk bitch snitch, probably. Damn. I wish I could rap like, I don't
of
know.
abnormal tweets. At 6 a.m. on Sunday,
Bro.
May 13th,
Man, my
post-
phone big as hell now. He gets 1 like per fucking post, bro. What a fucking loser. Take the L, bro. I'm trying to make an L with my feet. Take the L. Look at that. Take the L, kid. Take the L, serial killer. Wait, what's an L? It's this way. It's this way. Take the L, bitch. Yo, make this one my emote, bro. Modified L. Take the L. Yo, serial killer, take the L.
posted, "Damn, can't wait to get out of the cop shop.
Yeah.
Hashtag 6 unnecessary
Send
hours."
it to
Numerous
diminish.
others are too
Diminish.
explicit to read, but
I need a new
nonetheless,
L, bro.
Isaiah was not
Take the
afraid
L.
to say what was on his mind. As he tweeted away on his phone at the police station, officers notified Isaiah
Oh my
that he
God.
could only be released upon the
It's
authorization
not
of a
sexual,
legal
bro. It's
guardian,
not sexual.
since he was underage. The teenager swiftly
My feet isn't
realized
sexual.
that this was a massive issue, as his 2 legal guardians were, thanks to his doing,
Oh,
no
and they
longer
were gonna
alive.
look for them.
According to him, he lied and
They were
told
gonna
law
look for them.
enforcement that his grandparents had been in Minnesota on a fishing trip and had limited cell phone service, but they would be able to get in contact with his mother. Sure enough, Stacy allowed Isaiah to be released and handed over to his therapist
All of
Candace,
you is sexual.
where Isaiah
Come on,
supposedly
bro.
ate sausage, eggs, and hash browns and took a shower. Not too long after his short
Bro, why do the demons in this world find so much help? This motherfucker got a free meal. She was rizzing him up. She was fattening him up. She let him take a shower. She gave him food. Man, what the fuck, bro? Why wasn't I an aggressive piece of shit so I could get a hot, aggressive replacement teacher who would feed me and then be like, yeah, take a bath. And then I'd come out of the bath, dude, wrapped up in a towel, you know, all hot and bothered. And she'd look at me and she goes, "Oh my God." And I'd say, "Ew, you fucking pedo."
Term stay at her house, Candace seemed to find a shocking object within her residence and thought that it may have belonged to her patient, Isaiah. Immediately, she contacted the local authorities without his knowledge.
And then
Let
she'd
me ask
laugh.
you this: is we got a
She'd laugh and she said, "I'm not a pedo, I'm an ephebophile." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, if you know the difference, you're definitely a pedo." And now she's like,
call from her today. Is there any reason that there was a .40 caliber round that was found up there?
Mm-mm.
Nothing? Did you have a handgun on you at all?
No, sir.
No .40 caliber
You can
round?
lie detect me for that. No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so a .40 caliber round that would have been found up there
Where was it found?
"No, sir."
in her house.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Not from you?
No, sir.
Okay. You're sure?
Did he kill her?
Absolutely not.
Did
Okay.
he kill her? No.
Although
he
the
didn't kill
40
her.
caliber round was identified at Candace's home, it has never been confirmed as to who it belonged to.
Is she
Isaiah
alive?
states that his stay at his therapist's house lasted a mere hour and a half before she supposedly drove him back to the Cambridge
Amia.
apartments, where he met up with a girl named Alicia.
Did anybody even try to go to my phone records?
A mere hour and a half? Bro, a mere hour and a half, dog. Damn! They won several rounds.
That's one of the things that we commonly do. Is we try and get
No
phone
way they
records.
didn't bang. No shot they didn't
And
bang.
if you
No
have
shot, bro.
murder charges or something, felony like
shot.
that, you can get phone
No
records
shot.
Then how do you know that?
like that. I know everything.
I
No,
know, how do you know
legitimately
that? I mean,
don't.
you researching it?
I know a little bit of everything about everything, honestly. Like,
Okay.
I just
He knows about
every
everything.
day.
Sure.
Isaiah appears to possess several narcissistic traits, such as being egotistical and having a grandiose sense of self. He views himself as a very smart criminal, which is incredibly ironic given that he was arrested so soon after the crime and is currently being interrogated.
Hey, good. Bro, the fucking narrator, what a savage. Yeah, this guy sees himself as a... What a savage fucking narrator, bro. Which is ironic because he got caught immediately and bitched
Back in
out.
my notes here, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Ooh. Ooh.
If you want, I can look through them and tell you if you missed anything.
I bet you could.
It's possible that Isaiah is once again implying that he thinks he's smarter than the detective and could more
Bro,
easily
he's
find any
kidding.
mistakes. He's also likely very curious about what the detective has been writing down about him. But of course, the detective does not allow this to happen.
So who all do you think you've told about this?
Brandon?
Oh my god, how many people? And you're a smart guy?
Before? Or afterwards?
I don't know when he started texting people, but
Okay.
I got so many goddamn phone calls about, oh, did you kill your grandparents? I heard you killed your grandparents.
Get a little out of hand after a while.
Oh, I started freaking out on people.
When they took you into custody down there, when they finally got you, did you say you were proud of what you did?
It could be a red flag for deception that Isaiah's way of responding has changed from talking at a normal volume to suddenly shaking his head rapidly and responding quite softly.
Bro, how
Okay, we
can
heard
you
that
be
you said,
a
hey, I'm
genius?
proud of what I did, and, you know, I got what's coming to me.
No, what I said when I got out of the car is, I thanked them for apprehending me
Okay.
and that they did their jobs right, and I thanked them for not tasing me or letting the dog eat me.
Okay. Okay. Somebody had told us that you'd... And then not that this...
Somebody
you know,
must have heard me wrong.
Okay.
I actually did thank them and
Okay.
told them it was.
Bro,
I
he
respect
said
them a
W
lot for what they
cops.
did for
Okay. And
getting
did you
me
say,
off the
hey,
streets.
dude, I know
And
what
I
I got
told them I
coming.
deserved what I deserve what I got coming to me.
Okay.
Thanked them for apprehending me.
Because you understand what you did
Yes.
with your grandparents. Okay. And it wasn't anybody else that
No,
did it.
here's the thing. I wouldn't have released the K9, bro. All of a sudden, the K9 ran towards him. And I missed the handle, bro. I couldn't grab it. Oh, shit, he's gone. No, stop. K9, stop. Don't need him. That would be my energy, bro. Don't need him. Don't need... I'm supposed to go, no, right? And I'm like, no. Jesus.
It was you,
Yep.
right? There was nobody else
Nope.
in that house.
Oops,
with you.
yeah. Oops,
Okay.
the harness, bro. Hey,
Saben, visible
bro.
es todo lo que quieres de una toalla. Que te mantenga protegida y que sea súper cómoda.
Ah, don't tell him I'm a
The detective has been
woman.
concealing a rather large piece of information that
Bro,
goes
why
to
the
show
internet
that the killer
revealing the
Keen
truth
had
about
not
me?
been completely honest so far.
You know, essentially at the end of the day, you know, and I was going to show you a picture of the gun. Would that be the gun?
Yeah, that's a gun.
It's kind of a dark picture.
Yes, it is. How'd you know?
I know lots of things. Is that the gun that you used?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Wait. What? Why does it have a confession on the left? Is that on the wall or is that on the... That's on the wall, right? Or is that on the thing? This was the weapon I used to kill my grandparents? And then signed? Is that on the wall or is that on the picture? Nah, that's on the wall. Hold on. On the picture, right? That's not on the wall. It's too perfect. Yeah, that's on the picture. Yeah, because the wall is textury. Yeah, it's on the picture. Yeah, because the wall is
Is that the
textury.
gun that you used?
The wall is like...
You guys have
Yeah,
this
that's on
gun,
the picture.
Mm-hmm.
How? He gave it to us?
You said earlier that you're pretty smart. We're pretty smart at what we do.
obviously.
We do good work.
Oh, you traced my phone calls and my text messages and figured out Brandon had it.
We ended up with the gun.
That's what counts.
Okay?
Prior to the shooting, Brandon had offered advice to Isaiah on how to use the rifle, which ultimately ended the lives of Janet and Rick. Additionally, the pair discussed other ways to kill the victims. The morning of May 13th, Isaiah told Brandon that he could break into his grandparents' home and take whatever he wanted. When Brandon arrived, he snuck into the home, but supposedly left in a hurry and didn't notify the local authorities as he was allegedly nervous about the situation. Brandon eventually sold the rifle to another friend, but the gun was turned over to the police once the bodies were discovered. Still, the question of why has yet to be answered, but as Isaiah reveals what drove him to commit the ultimate crime, he loses all control.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know what built up in me. I just had so much stress.
Like
Is
what?
he gonna get something
My
and...
grandma was dying of cancer. My grandpa called me a piece of shit every night of my life and every day. He constantly told me to just kill myself or fall off the earth. They treated me like... I tried so hard to help my grandma with everything. But my grandpa made everything so hard because he'd always stress me out, scream at me for no reason. And I didn't know what to do anymore, so I just snapped.
You snapped?
Shot both of them and stole the truck.
Okay.
If Isaiah's claims are
No.
true, this type of long-term verbal and emotional abuse from his grandpa would have been extremely damaging. However, it's important to keep in mind that he could be lying in order to provide a justification for his actions. After all, he doesn't say that his grandma was abusive, and he still killed her as well.
What did the video creator just do? Bro.
He doesn't say that his grandma was abusive, and he still killed her
Bro.
as well.
Bro, did he really just put a skull behind the
He could be
grandma?
lying in order to provide a justification for his actions. After all, he doesn't say that his grandma was
Look
abusive.
at this.
And he's
Watch. Watch. Bro, this motherfucker. Why do you do...
still
Bro. Yo, this editor's a serial killer, bro.
abusive.
Look at this.
And he's still
Bro. What the actual... What the actual fuck, bro? Listen, I am joking about a lot of things that happen, okay? I'm not being sensitive with the situations, but I'm doing it live, bro. I'm covering it live, alright? What I'm doing is second-degree murder or maybe manslaughter. This motherfucker's doing premeditated murder, alright? He's on a different level to me. This motherfucker sits there and he says, oh, I know what I should add. I should add a skull on the background. You know, he thinks about it. I just say shit. This motherfucker's like, ooh, that's gonna go viral. I'll add that. Ooh, and the music and the this and the that. This guy's like, you know, exactly. I'm just, you know, I'm off the dome, bro. Am I killing people? Yeah, somewhat, okay, somewhat. But I'm doing it out of the heat of passion. This motherfucker's doing it in a dark room. He's got no chat. And he's like, yeah. I'm gonna put the right song to, yeah. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the chat to entertain. He doesn't have the energy. None of that, bro. He's just sitting in the room. And he's like, yeah, this is a good video. I don't want fucking skulls. Come on. Bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Killed her as well.
What the
We
fuck?
also cannot verify any of these claims.
What did she? And why did you shoot Grandpa first?
I hate it.
Why?
He's made my life a living hell.
Okay. How long had you been thinking about doing that?
That one day.
Enough of this
One day,
One
bozo.
day.
Okay. Nothing before, because
We need to see.
Well, I had thought, but I never really made a plan.
okay. What kind of, when you say I thought, what kind of things are you?
I wanted to kill my grandpa, but I never wanted to hurt my grandma.
Yeah.
Then why did you shoot her twice in the head?
It's just I could have just left her there. She did it.
Isaiah's legs are shaking, possibly from the anxiety of being questioned or reliving the trauma of committing a violent crime. If he had previously been a danger to himself as he claims, this could also be the cause of his notable trepidation.
Okay. And did he see it
He
coming?
didn't even notice.
I mean, where was
He
he
was
looking?
so drunk and high on his oxy got and
Yeah, he didn't know.
Okay.
He didn't even know where.
Let me do this if I can. If you're stand up real quick. If I'm your
I'm-
grandpa sitting over on the couch like here, are we this close?
You're sitting.
He's like, officer, can I please have your gun? Let me show you properly. Officer, let's reenact this right now. Do you have a barrel? I can show you, officer. I can show you. No, trust me. Do you have a basement that I can start coming out of, officer? I need to show you exactly what I was doing. Yeah, just done there, officer. Just done there. Jesus Christ, bro.
Like this.
Okay.
Bro, he's just... Why is the officer so chill, dog? This guy could grab a pen. Bro, this guy could grab a pen and go... Gat, to the officer. This officer's like, yeah, bro, move me around. Okay. Yeah. Wee. I would never, ever be this chill next to a motherfucker that just killed some people. Dude, look, no, legitimately, he has a phone here, okay? Kid can grab the phone and hit him over the head with it. And boom, all of a sudden, crushes your eye socket. You're like, oh my god, I can't see. Boom, hits you in the back of the neck. Ah, hits you. You end up dead. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to end up dead here, bro. This is a room full of dangers. I see them. He has a big monitor there. Grabs the monitor, bang, straight to the fucking face. Like, come on, dog. He has this thing, bang, straight on the cop. Come on, man. Why is the cop so chill? Are you telling me that there's no pen right here or pencil? Bro, he grabs the pen and stabs him a couple of times at least. Maybe he doesn't kill him, but you know what? Maybe he leaves him paralyzed. Maybe he stabs him a couple of times. Gat. Bro, why are you so chill?
Kind of down like that.
Look at
I
this.
was right about here on the stairs.
Okay, so is he hunched over? Is he asleep?
Yeah, no.
The officer's like, yeah, let me hunch over, bro. Get that. Yo, you see that gun I have? Do you see the rifle? Grab it and aim it at me. So, and then could you like shoot over that, but not at me? We'll pretend you shot me. Can you do it? Thank you. Like, bros, what's
He's
that?
just out of it
Just like
on his
this.
drugs.
'Cause
Yeah, he was hunched
like
over
this.
like. Oh, I was on the 4th or 5th stair down at
Yeah,
first.
he was
So I
like
could
this.
see his hair from there. When I took the first
Let me-
shot,
let me
I took
act-
one
let me
step
act
up,
as
I
his
stared
grandpa.
up, so I could see his whole head shot.
Where the
And then
first shot hit?
First shot straight through his head.
Right here?
Right temple.
Okay. Right temple?
No, like right in the temple.
Oh, right in the temple. Okay, and what'd he do?
Smacked his face off the coffee table.
Okay. So when you're coming up the stairs, did
Yeah,
you kind of
so it
sneak
was-
up the stairs a little bit?
I was like,
How come?
I didn't want to hear me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then, like, as soon as
And where's Grandma?
I took this step right here,
Rip grandma.
I would be like 3 feet to the side
That
of you.
way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I stepped up the first stair, took the shot, stepped up the second stair, took 2 more shots.
At Grandma?
By demonstrating how the killings occurred, the detective is solidifying the fact that this shooting was not in self-defense or in any way provoked by his grandparents.
Grandma treated me terribly. Nobody would ever believe it.
Bro, they were
insulted
chilling,
me
and he
before.
just
He's
killed
done
them. He
so many
executed
different
them.
things wrong to me.
Okay. But he didn't do anything to you that night.
No.
And it's just, I could never report any of it. Because my grandma would always vouch for him and make me look like the bad one. Like, he'd smoke pot with me. And I'd tell it to the cops. And he'd just be like, nope, never happened.
Notice that Isaiah's hands are palm up as he talks, which is known as the rogatory position.
Bro.
When someone holds their hands in this way, they may be pleading with the other person to believe what they're saying. The rogatory position indicates low confidence, so if someone makes a statement that they know for a fact is true, their body language should reflect high confidence.
When I got busted for paraphernalia, when I got put on probation, that was his fight. I tried so many times to tell the cops that, but they were like, it's in your room. And I was just like, it was his, though.
The detective handles a question raised by Isaiah that is sure to come as a complete surprise.
Has their funerals been held yet?
No, I don't think they have, Isaiah.
What?
I haven't heard
Would there be
anything
any
about the
way I'd be
funerals.
able to go to them?
That I couldn't tell you.
Bro.
And I'll tell you, since you're shooting straight with me, I doubt it. Okay? I don't know. I don't make that call.
Well, I don't want my family to kill me anyways.
Okay.
Although we are able to hear from Isaiah throughout the interrogation, he spoke with us in an exclusive, never-before-heard interview
No
where
shot.
he expanded on the alleged abuse and gave us a deeper look into what he now believes led to that fateful day.
Bro.
There wasn't any, like, in my head, there wasn't any make it to 18. I've gotten shot twice before I was 17. I didn't think I was going to be around that long. That wasn't a thought. I had no regard for my life whatsoever. Everything I did was so obviously a cry for help that it didn't make sense. And nothing good happened. Nobody tried to help, nothing. So in my head, I was like, all right, I'm on my own, so I'm just going to, I don't know, like, what do I do? And then once I'm on house arrest, like, you can't even get away from the problem at this point. So how do you eliminate the problem? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that other people failing me throughout my life is the reason I did it. At the end of the day, I'm the reason I did it. I chose to do what I did. But a lot of things could have happened if I would have had options.
Isaiah explains the alleged abuse that he endured at the hands of Rick and Janet.
We had those kind of interactions where I'm like, hey, like they'd call the cops, and I'd be like, he literally just hit me, and I defended myself. What am I supposed to do? Or, like, he had a bunch of plants in the backyard, and they knew about it, and they were like, oh, that's just ditchweed. Just leave that alone.
Okay. I don't know if this YouTuber is the most ethical person out there. Okay, but I'm gonna say this.
They just pulled the plane.
I probably am not the best ethical person to this either, because I keep making jokes and I keep saying a bunch of mad shit, you know, when it's a serious topic, like people get killed or whatever. I will say this guy's a content king. Okay, I can't speak over how ethical this is, but this guy's a content machine, dude. Like, what the fuck? He interviewed the fucking killer. Oh my god. And look, I'm the type of person, right, who thinks, look, you can joke about everything. You can make it, you know, as long as you're not, you know, just poking fun at the victims, which I haven't, you know, you don't make fun of the victims. It's just the situations that you make fun of. But you know what does come to my mind? You know that 14-year-old kid who had a whole, like, he had his favorite serial killers, right? The kid who stabbed his friend, his best friend. He had a list of favorite serial killers. I fear that videos like this one, my reaction, other people's reactions, might feed into the problem, right? Might feed into, like, the problem of a serial killer or somebody who wants to be famous, right? Somebody who wants to be famous from shooting people or from, like the mass shootings, right? They always say that the people who do the mass shootings, they want to be famous, and like whenever they reveal the mass shooters' names and whenever they like glorify them, there ends up being more mass shooters. I wonder if content like this is just like downright hurtful. But it's kind of complicated because, for example, today I've learned, like, and a lot of people, I think a lot of people could learn the same lesson that I've learned today, right? Like, I pride myself in being very good with words. I pride myself in talking to people, convincing people of things. I pride myself on that. I think I'm very good at talking to people, and communicating with people, in fact. But after watching all of this, dude, I now realize that, you know what, dude? I used to, like, I legitimately always thought, no, I can get myself out of any situation. I don't think that anymore. I think that's something very important to realize. So, like, that's one good part from content like this. But I don't know how good it is that I'm kidding and I'm making jokes and I'm doing this. And this guy's, like, interviewing him. This guy is, like, doing the like, bro, she's dead and, like, the fucking skeleton behind. You know what I mean? I don't know how ethical that shit is, you know? And I wonder, because I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt the world. But I wonder if, yeah, sometimes I wonder if what I do is just wrong.
Plants and left him alone. And there was
and this might be
occasions
pushing
where
it.
I was like, okay, he assaulted me, like literally. And my grandma would be like, nope,
This
didn't
might be
happen that
pushing
way.
it.
He hit him first. And they'd be like,
And look, I'll say this. Maybe it's not so much of a problem when I'm a small streamer and whatever. But, like, imagine somebody the size of XQC making jokes like what I was doing. I don't think that shit's gonna fly, you know? You know, I don't think that shit's gonna fly. Right? So, enjoy it while you can, I guess.
You're both going to go to jail because they both say that you did it first. And it's their word against yours. No one's going to listen to a dumb kid. Who cares about the kid, right? Doesn't matter if a 15-year-old's getting his ass kicked. That's irrelevant.
His claims about his feelings toward his grandmother seem to be ever-changing. During this particular account, it seems he's placing at least some of the blame on her, which is in contrast to his statements during his interrogation.
I wanted to kill my grandpa, but I never wanted to hurt my grandma.
She was a mega enabler, and the verbal abuse and the
And
emotional
look,
abuse was from her.
that's why
She
his
was the
interview
one
is
that was doing
somewhat
a lot of
like
the
important.
screaming, and like she'd always back him up.
You found out
Like,
the kid was still
great
lying.
example. I attempted. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave, and she's like, I wish you would have just ended up yourself and making it work. It would have been a lot easier on us. Like she'd say shit like that.
Well, I don't want to just tell my story because it'll help me get out. Because obviously I know that. That's one of the first thoughts. But the first thought, the initial thought is this could help a lot of kids. Like if some kid that's 16 years old is getting his ass beat, hears me talk about it and how it feels to be alone, and it helps them, and they actually go and talk to somebody about it, then that's worth telling my story. That's worth reliving all the points. Like
Okay.
the biggest thing I want to do with my life, I want to be an advocate for at-risk youth, because I feel like if somebody would have just talked to me and really understood what I was going through and been like, hey, I get that.
What
Like,
about the
but
app?
you're okay. Like, you're not by yourself.
Wait, didn't he have a
I
fucking
think
teacher
that
that
probably
did
would have
that?
changed a lot, because the hardest part about it was feeling like I was alone.
Didn't he have a
Today,
fucking
Isaiah
teacher
has
that just
seemingly
did
found
that?
a new path, even accomplishing some rehabilitative programming, along with achieving his career readiness certificate. His co-conspirator, Brandon Allers, took a plea agreement to testify against Isaiah and was sentenced to 18 years in prison for his part in the horrific murders. This story doesn't end here, though. When police were finally able to search the grandparents' home, they allegedly found numerous internet searches on one of the computers, locating various methods on how to kill someone.
Yeah, he said so himself.
In another
He said so
sickening
himself.
find, according to news sources, authorities supposedly uncovered inappropriate photos of children.
Oh my god.
The pictures were allegedly found under the grandfather's account, but nothing else has ever been revealed about the horrendous discovery. During Isaiah's trial, a clinical psychologist testified that during the time period of the crime, Isaiah possessed the emotional maturity of a 12 to 14-year-old. But this did not stop the
What?
killer from facing the inevitable consequences. Initially, Isaiah was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but in an unexpected turn of events, the judgment was overturned. After 4 years behind bars,
No.
Isaiah was resentenced to life in
fuck,
prison with a
fuck,
chance
fuck,
at
fuck.
parole, without a minimum incarceration time. This means that there is no telling when or if he will be released.
Ooh. Ooh.
This never-before-seen footage is one of the craziest interrogations you'll ever see.
Alright, boys, listen, we'll watch that tomorrow, alright? We'll watch this tomorrow. Oof, yeah, bro. Hug your parents, bro. Oof. Hug your fucking sons, bro. Hug your brothers. Hug everybody, you know. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, bro. A hug away will keep the murderer away. A hug a day will keep the murderer away. I don't know, maybe. Bro, these videos are fucking weird, man. The way these people act, man, these videos are fucking weird, dog. The worst one was the kid, by far. Worst one was the 14-year-old by a lot. Like, that was the most shocking one. The guy, I don't know why, dude. The guy who killed his whole family does not seem as evil as the kid who killed his friend from stabbing. To me. It doesn't seem as evil. You know? Like the guy who killed his mom, his dad, his brothers, his 11 and 12, 10-year-old brother. Like, fuck, dog, fuck. I can understand how the guy panicked and maybe said, you know what, I gotta kill them, and went over and killed them. But the 14-year-old who did not panic, who told his friend in the toilet to come over, and he wanted to show him something, and he just grabbed him and he stabbed him and he cut him up. And he was gonna do the same to his other friend. That kid is the scariest one to me. Because that one was completely unprovoked. Completely unprovoked. That was one of his best friends. Didn't say anything bad to him. Didn't attack him. Did nothing. The guy didn't have a bad life. The guy didn't hate him. He didn't even justify it. He just said, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill him. Like, he didn't justify. He didn't give any apologies. He didn't give any, like, that was, he came in and he spoke the truth. Didn't try to lie. Didn't try to anything. He just said, yeah, I talked to him because I was planning to murder him. And I killed him this, that, and the other way. And I was going to kill my other brother, my other friend, by the way. And no remorse, nothing behind that face, nothing. That was creepy as shit. That was the creepiest by far from all the others. All the others you can say, God damn bro, the autistic kid got super angry and he fucking hit his brother and then he didn't know what to do and then he just didn't stop. And he didn't know what the fuck to do, but he at least he was fucking angry. The other guy, at least he was angry with his dad. This guy, at least he was angry with his grandparent. The other motherfucker, just, there was no reason, dude. No reason. He wanted to murder somebody. He just wanted to kill. He just wanted to kill. He didn't want revenge. He didn't want power. He didn't want money. He wasn't frustrated. He just wanted to kill. That's that simple. He just wanted to kill. I can't even relate, bro. I can't even imagine how that brain works. The other ones, I can somewhat see the rage. I can see the rage. But that kid had no rage. No rage. And I don't know. I don't know. Oof. Boys, listen, tomorrow we'll watch that one and we'll do something else, bro, because this type of content, like, is it good? Is it good fun? Yeah. Yeah, it can be, but, bro, this is why I don't like drama either, bro. Things that hurt the soul, you know, it's small poison, bro, you know what I mean? I know it was a funny stream, bro, but Jesus Christ. You know, sometimes I wonder, did I go too far? Do I go too far? And sometimes I 100% do, bro. 100% do. But I can't stop myself from making memes, you know. Can't stop myself from making memes. But yeah, we'll see, bro. We'll react to this tomorrow, but then we'll play something else, you know. It's good fun, comfort, this, yeah. I mean, that's a good way to see it. I don't have any malice when I do it, dude. I don't have any malice, but, you know, it can be misinterpreted very heavily, bro. Very heavily. You know. But anyways. We shall see. I'll react to this tomorrow. And we'll do some other shit tomorrow, boys. Alright? Take care of yourselves. I love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for not treating me like a schizo. Thank you for understanding that I'm just memeing. Okay? Oh, and we'll react to this shit tomorrow, bro. We'll react to this shit tomorrow. Okay? Alright. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support, man. You guys have been fucking fantastic, man. This week, bro, that I moved. Now everything's going fucking fantastic. You know? Slow me with a 5 gifted, with a sub, bro. You know. Everything, man. Everything, dude. Thanks so much, boys. You know, I appreciate it a lot. Spherical, it's Fanta, Mastodon, Joma, and Eric all got subs from Slow. Thank you, Slow. Much love, buddy. Boys, take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Let's rate Corantos. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's been schizo. Let's rate Corantos, alright? Have a good night, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm getting more consistent. Being more consistent, boys. And like I said, schedule's coming soon. Alright, we're working on that consistency, boys. I'm streaming every day now, which is good. We'll start expanding the streams and then we'll jump into the schedule. Okay? Take care.